Welcome to the Insurance Technology Podcast. I am here with your host, Reid Holzworth. Reid, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Who are you? What's your name?
I have many hats. Today I am playing co-host.
You haven't been co-hosting all the time recently. I'm just saying.
I know.
You've been delegating out those responsibilities to others.
Well, I've been learning from the best on how to delegate. But no, seriously, this is going to be our last episode for 2024. We're going to take some time off and come back after the holidays.
Nice.
And so I was told that what we should do for this last one is kind of review the year and talk a little bit about where we think we're going to go in 25.
All right.
So first question, and I'm going to focus on positive things, no negative things. If you look back across this year, 2024, what is one of the best things that happened that's work related or professional related?
Work related, professional related? Whew, let me think about that. Well, I'll say that here at Ivans, we've always been kind of known as the download company, right? And we are, that's what we've done for a very, very long time, and we'll continue to do that. But I'm excited, and this year was the first year where we really kind of changed as an organization to where all of our pipeline, new deals, revenue makeup is not just download anymore. And it's coming from all the products that we've been building over the last couple of years and refining and iterating on that are now coming about. Things like Bookroll. Bookroll's crushing it. I mean, I saw the numbers today. It was like over $3.5 billion this year or something.
Yeah.
Insane. $3.5 billion over the pipe over Bookrolls using our Bookroll tool, which is super cool. Insights is crushing it. IDP as well. And so, yeah, it's really exciting to kind of see the business starting to come together into something different than what it was and what it's always been. So I'm super excited about that.
It's adding on to it too, right? It's adding on to what we've done.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like you're right. It's just like building upon all of it. And I think what's cool too is now what we're already working on it this year, but what we're going to see next year is all those things being connected together as well, which just makes it that much more better. And then what I'm really excited about too is, we've kicked off a huge project this year, in this last quarter around what else could we build for the industry here at Ivans. And we've identified some really, really big things that we can go and solve that we're gonna do. So more to come there. And so I'm super excited about that. And it's really bringing everything together, including, the Plank team, as well as Applied and us, and then the industry. And so, so I'm super excited about all that. It's pretty cool. And, it's funny, I was going to say, it's kind of crazy because it takes a really long time, much longer than you think, than I think, to build a product, bring it to market. Like that's, generally, but for a product to start to really get traction, it takes a while of iterating, getting it out there in the market, between multiple people. It's customers really. So it's tough. And so it just kind of, I don't know, I just want to call that out because it's like, it kind of blows my mind. It's taken us a couple of years, once launched, once released, to kind of really get a market and really start to see major traction. But I don't know, maybe to some that's not that long.
No, I think we're seeing the traction. I think we're seeing the traction because the value is there. Like you brought up Bookroll. I mean, I just love hearing agencies be like, wait a minute, I don't have to print anything, or I don't have to like get this massive file out of my AMS and like send it off to my carriers. Like you're saving me so much time. So
right.
I love those things.
Yeah. So that's me. How about you? How about you, Christen?
Oh, best thing at work. Yeah. I think Ivans Connect doubling.
Oh, yeah.
That was something that, I never thought that I'd walk into the keynote and have it be standing room only. And that was amazing. So for those of you that were there and got to hear everything, and you had brought up plank, I think just adding all of the pieces together, having it be an Ivan's, plank, where our parent company wants us to go, I think really drove the most people that we've ever gotten, which is great because that's what I'm here to do, is create awareness around Ivan. So it was awesome to get to have new people come in and see what we're all about.
Ivan's Connect was awesome. I mean, doubled attendance, like literally. And yeah, it was standing room only. It was crazy. It was way more than we thought. We thought we'd get, a little over, but it was a lot. And it's really cool. It's really exciting. Next year it's going to be an even better one. I think we got it finally figured out. Not that we haven't, but you know what I'm saying? Like we're getting it down to a science. And ClideNet was awesome, of course. So this next year will be back in Vegas, the Aria. So that'll be fun once again. But yeah, looking forward to that for sure next year. Yeah, that's a great event. I mean, AppliedNet, that whole situation just so fun. It really is. I don't care. I get I'm not self-promoting here, folks. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool people there. It's a good time, and it's a lot of great information, a lot of stuff. You learn a lot coming out of that. But anyways, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely has transformed from a user, like a how to use applied products type of conference, which it still, does education around that, but has become really a place where everybody's coming together from all the different stakeholders within the industry.
Yep.
All right. So you said AppliedNet was really fun, but I would say that's more professional side. Is there anything on your personal side that was like a fun or good thing that happened this past year?
I did a lot of fun stuff this year. I don't know. The thing I keep coming back to is I think one of the most fun things I did this last year was a spearfishing tournament I had down in Key West with my buddies. It was so much fun. We had the best time ever. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that next year. 100%.
Can you not have it be right before Insurtech Boston?
I'm sorry. It has to be. It ends on Cinco de Mayo. I mean, I can't not have that. And it's the opening of hogfish season and grouper season. So anyways, nope. Sorry, you can move Insurtech Boston.
I did. It's actually 2 weeks later this year, so you'll have time to recover.
That's called being the boss, right there. You see that?
No, we are scheduled for the 15th this year for Insurtech Boston.
That's awesome. Yeah, starts getting into the busy season around then. Lots going on, but yeah, no, that was fun. How about you? What'd you do, Christen?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Definitely not spearfishing. We were talking about this earlier. I think all of the cool places I traveled was because of work. So I guess that shows that we have a great culture, but it's true. I look back and I'm like, where did I go? And had some great times in Nashville and in Florida, but most of them were connected to work stuff. So,
hey, we're kicking off our leadership meeting, Q1 January, right? Key West, that's what's up. That's going to be fun.
And then do sales kickoff right afterwards.
I know. Yeah. Then we go right from that to SKO in Orlando.
Yeah.
It's in Orlando again this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So podcast, we had lots of interviews this year. Is there any topic or person that kind of sticks out in your head from some of your recent interviews?
I really enjoyed Dr. Doug Bradman, author of Driven. I know Doug for a while, and like I said, I read his book, and I really enjoyed that. Just his insight and all of it, and like it's just for me, it was quite wild as he goes through some of that. Even if you read the book, like how spot on he is about stuff. I really enjoyed him. I think his outlook on life and everything, and he's a really interesting dude. So I really, really enjoyed that. We had a lot of good guests though this year. I mean, we really did. We just keep cranking these things out. It's wild. Like we're almost at like 100 episodes or something, you said?
I think we'll hit 100 next year sometime. Yeah. We'll have to do some sort of 100th episode party.
What about you? What'd you like? I mean, for the ones that you were at, just say it.
I will say So yeah, Dr. Doug was good. I think looking at all of the different topics that we're trying to take on, and also having people that may not have been on, say, the podcast circuit, if you will, like taking on new people. One that sticks out in my head is Joe Stevenson, just because I think it's two reasons. One, anybody that like has cop stories always is entertaining to listen to.
Yep.
But also the topic of fraud is something, and we've talked about it afterwards, like the amount of money that happens because of insurance fraud, but that it's not really like a big trendy topic, and we don't really talk about it and how to. And so I just love that we brought that topic out, and that he was able to, give the audience some things that him and his crew are working on. He's actually at another organization now, but he's still focused in on insurance and trying to help with fraud detection.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. It's interesting. Like after that episode, for me, it kind of changed the way I thought a little bit about fraud and just about the industry. And as like a technologist within this industry, like how does fraud fit into it? I wasn't as like aware that it was at that level, at the level it is, and it's just huge money. And so it's like, so it's definitely become like, because of that, it's more on my radar as I'm thinking through things and solutions and stuff that we can do to impact the industry. And so really opened my eyes a lot, and I really enjoyed it. He's just a good dude too, and it's kind of funny. I'm not joking. Interviewing a cop. That was kind of funny.
Versus the other way around.
Yeah, versus the other way around, which God knows has happened a few times.
No, he's going to join us at Insurtech Boston this year, actually.
Oh, yes? Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. Yeah, but it's just kind of a different lens on that whole world. It was really good. And there was like, I think too, kind of like the Brackman story a little bit. There's also some stuff that he like brought me through, just him and I chatting one-on-one on stuff. It's freaking wild. Like stuff that he couldn't really say, to the public. Pretty cool. But interesting, really interesting stories there for sure. Yeah.
All right. So some things that if we're going to talk about 2024, I don't think we have to talk about them because it was part of the news cycle for so long. So first one I'm going to talk about, CrowdStrike.
Yeah. What a mess that was. Oh, I'm trying not to cuss as much these days.
Is that going to be your New Year's resolution?
No, fuck no. But I got screwed on that situation personally. Like I was going on a cruise with like all my kids. Like this was, I lost thousands of dollars because missed the flight, couldn't get a flight, no way around it, missed the cruise, and they're like, it's not our fault. You didn't, miss the cruise. And like, hey, travel insurance, everyone, who would have known, right? But like, that was crazy, for us. We were very fortunate on Ivan's. We were down for only a little bit, like a few hours. That's it. But like, man, that was a mess for some. Big time. Overall applied. They were up real quick overall, but like some companies, it was a real problem.
Yeah, I think Delta was like days, right? So
yeah.
Well, and so you talked about like the insurance part of it, and of course, like we always have to take the insurance angle. There was something as I was researching for this episode that I was delegated by my boss to so they were saying that 8.5 million Windows devices globally were impacted, which is crazy. And it's an estimated 5.4 billion in losses.
5.4 billion in losses.
But insurance impact, not seen as much. And anyone from Guy Carpenter who wants to give us more of their information, but they were one of the ones who were cited as saying that because there's not a lot of coverage around system failure, that it really actually didn't impact the insurance companies in a material way.
So no claims were really paid because this wasn't a thing prior. Is that
I'm sure they did, but I think it made people look at like their policy is probably a little bit closer, right? Because if you don't read the fine print, maybe you're not covered for things like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. You know, and maybe you don't know this. What happened with them after this? Did they just get like hammered? I mean, is it like I wonder, like the business.
Their
like,
evaluations definitely went down. I think they I think year over year it was like, and now I'm gonna have to go fact check myself. But yeah, I mean they did not go well for their evaluation. For their valuation, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild though. That was crazy. I mean, who knew? Like, who would have thought? To think about that stuff. I mean,
I just think about all the things that we do internally before we push out a release in terms of testing, like that something like that just got out.
It's crazy. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go from one type of disaster to another. Hurricane season was like nothing else we've ever seen. I think we're actually at the other side, right? Like hurricane season's officially over now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said the Atlantic Basin saw 18 named storms in 24, and 11 of those turned into hurricanes, and 5 intensified to major hurricanes with winds over 111 miles an hour.
Jesus. Yeah.
So the 2 to hit landfall. So Helene and Milton, and thank God, I would say that our company, our staff, yes, we had some people that were impacted. But again, reading through all of this with like from an insurance angle, the estimated losses that are uninsured was just crazy to me, but probably to people that were inland and never really thought that they would ever need it, right? Like the people that got in the Carolinas.
Yep. Yeah. I used to forget, I probably said this on the show before, but I remember back in the day when I sold personal lines like homeowners and whatnot, we'd always try to cross-sell flood. And I used to make people like, everybody on an agency, we'd make like, they sign a homeowner's policy and they like decline flood. We did it as a cross-selling kind of tool. And I forgot what it was, but it was something like, I remember in the paper that we drew up to make them sign as for the contract was like 3 times or 4 times, maybe even more likely to have a flood than a fire, right? Like the stat, like it's just like, it's gonna happen, it can happen in a major way. And so, it's kind of funny to think of it that way though, right? Like everybody gets insurance on their home. They think it's going to burn down, but hey, it's kind of funny. Like I'm not going to name names, but my homeowner's insurance carrier just made me put in a complete fire detection, all this stuff. I spent like real money on it. And now I got to put a leak detection in. And you know what I'm like, I'm going to rant on this a little bit. Like, what is the risk? What risk do you have? I mean, liability, but the thing's not going to burn down. I mean, the other day the smoke detector went off and like I was out of town. The freaking fire department showed up at my house like 20 minutes later. So it's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, but fraud, right? It's a risk, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just looking at like, so FEMA said that there was nearly 93% of homes with flood damage that lacked flood insurance during Helene.
Yeah, wow.
And that it brought, and this is, I love like the stats that they like, so that it really hits home. Helene brought 42 trillion gallons of rain.
Wow.
Like that's like not just one state, but like holy.
Trillion.
That is the equivalent to the flow of Niagara Falls for 1 3/4 years.
That's a lot. That's insane.
Flood insurance.
That's wild. Yeah.
All right. So we looked back. Let's look forward. 2025. Is there topics or like a certain type of person, a place that we have not gone yet on this podcast?
So, yeah. So, something that I wanted to bring up too is like this year we changed the format a bit.
Yeah.
We added like different questions and whatnot. We got kind of more into like the leadership side, whatnot with people. I'd love some feedback on that. If people like it, don't like it, hey, is there, if we took the same kind of profile of guests, if you will, and we could talk about different types of guests in a second, but, are there other things you want to know about? Like, do you want to go deeper? Do you want to go like more technical, less technical? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. So I'm sure some of you nerds be like, more techno, more tech, more better, but I mean, realistic, what makes more sense? Is the format good? Do you like it? Do you care, not care? I mean, the whole thing is like, when we get into it, we want the listener to really understand who the person is. Like,
Yeah.
who is this person out there? Well, who were they in high school? What kind of music they listen to? What kind of car they drive? What was their background? Where they come from? What molded them into the person that they are today? And then it's like, okay, let's talk about your career and all of that, how you got into insurance, and then let's talk about what you're doing now in insurance technology and all this type of stuff. And then again, like, you as a leader, like, what else could we add or maybe remove, right?
Mm.
I think would be good. Just good feedback on that. As far as guests are concerned, I'd love the audience's feedback on this as well. Like, like, I think Dr. Doug was different. Like, a bunch of these were very different, and we were looking to kind of mix it up a bit,
Yeah.
right? And so, what other things would you want to learn about? Like, what other types of people do you want, like, specific on leadership or whatever it is? Like, what types of humans would you want to hear from? Could be outside of our industry. Could be a lot of things. It could be like, hey, I'd love to hear from more agencies, more carriers. I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
more on the policy administration system side or something. Just feedback around it. And so yeah, because we know who we know, and we bring people on that we think that are really interesting and doing cool shit out there in the industry, and just cool shit generally. But like, hey, help us figure that out. Even that, I mean, you're the ones that are listening to it. We're just doing it. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that everybody really enjoys it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do different types of guests, like, just different things, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like mental health stuff and like whatever, I'm not jumping on any bandwagon type stuff, but like real shit that people want to learn about, right? That affects all of us. Period. So I don't know, what
I
do you
like that
think?
we added in the leadership aspect. And I think, while it is the insurance technology podcast, and that's why we started this, is we have talked about offline, the people that we featured, yes, it is what they've built, but it really truly is like the person they are that allowed them to get to the level of success that they have. So I
Mhm.
like that. But to your point, let's make sure we're doing stuff that the audience wants us to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
What
about
was the
like
drink? What was the drink you consumed the most of last year, Kristen?
It's probably one of those, like, like the memes out there. It's like coffee until a certain time, and then it's wine, like that.
Red wine. What's your wine of choice?
Oh, my wine of choice.
Not brand,
Um,
just type.
oh well, I mean, so it depends on the time of year, but usually it's a Sauvignon Blanc,
Mm,
and then
gotcha.
but right now I'm kind of leaning more towards like Pinot Noir. When it
Mm,
starts getting cold, and especially
yeah.
here in Mass, it's been very cold recently. So, although it's raining now. So,
Mm, yeah.
what about you?
All of
I bet I
them.
could guess.
Guess actually. Actually, yes, yes. Please guess, and I'm sure you'll get this one right. Because my tastes have changed, but it's very
I was
real
just
now
gonna
this
say,
year.
you have
Yes.
like strayed away from like your dirty martinis. You've been favoring margaritas lately.
All margaritas all the time. 100%. I'm full of tequila. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that switched. I just, it's just things change, I guess. And I'm kind of just been digging the margaritas lately.
I guess it's like what it depends if you're like hanging out and having a drink versus like sitting down and having dinner. Like I don't
Yeah,
I can't drink a margarita with dinner for unless it's a Mexican restaurant. That's totally different.
I sure can. Hey, I still love a good dirty martini though,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's been my drink of choice for sure. Hmm.
All right, so we're going to take a hiatus. This will be our last one until we come back in January. So, for those that are listening, if there's ones you haven't listened to this year or before, and you also have the opportunity to not only listen, but watch now, which I don't know how much I like that I have to be on camera all the time, but we have all of our episodes up on YouTube now too. Any final words for our last one of 24?
For me, 24 was just like a blur, honestly. I mean, it was just grinding. And we are grinding this year. It's kind of a build year for me personally. I mean, we are building lots and lots, doing a lot of things, a lot of road shows, a lot of shaking hands, kissing babies, stuff like that. 25 is going to be another build year for us, at least here at Ivans. Different stuff, but also a lot of execution and all the stuff that we've built in this year and last. And so I'm excited for next year. I'm excited for the industry too. Next year, I've done a few interviews recently and kind of like breaking it down, like end of the year kind of stuff. And I really feel like it's all coming together. I think that like when I mean what is all, I think that the tech is starting to be utilized that's out there. A lot of the noise from like the stuff that was like this is gonna like change the world is kind of going away because a lot of the money is dried up on that noisy stuff. So you're seeing real solutions get real traction, and then you're starting to see actual adoption of these things. And yeah, and the carriers are adopting technology like mad. They've gone, most of them gone through the transformation, so they're starting to execute on it. I think commercial lines is going to be a big year for commercial lines next year. We're going to start to see a lot of automation and things come out around mid and large next year as well. Mark my words, 1000%. We're already seeing it. A lot of energy around that. You're going to see a lot of startups around it too. I bet popping up, especially as some of the incumbents, if you will, are bringing these products to market. So you're going to you'll see a lot of that next year. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to Ivans Connect, Insurtech Boston. That's always a fun time. Yeah. And so next year is going to be a good year. We're out of all this pandemic crap and all that noise around that. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Those are my closing thoughts. What are your closing thoughts, Christen?
Ditto. No.
That's easy.
No, I think the whole like coming back in person is in full force. I know we talked about offline, like some of our connectivity report stuff. And I think we said that in-person meetings in terms of, getting partnerships and how you cultivate partnerships, it's like 22% increase in in-person meetings. So yeah, I think people are starting not only the automation side, but, coming together literally in person through networking and conferences. I mean, we've seen all the ones that we are a part of just continue to grow and saw 24 be crazy. So I think 25 will just continue to see them grow.
Yeah, it's great. About time. Ready.
So we'll be seeing people out in person.
Yes.
All right. Well, happy holidays to everyone who's listening. And we will talk to you again in 25.
All right. Thanks again, Christen, for all of your co-hosting work. I appreciate you. And thank you, listeners. Thank you for listening and being here with us. And please give us some feedback. We'd love to make it the best. Help us make it the best. We don't know. We just do, and we're doing. We kind of know, but like, help us out for real. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you, and everybody. Happy holidays. Hope you have some good fun. Your family, drink a bunch of eggnog and margaritas and red wine or whatever you're into.
Not all at the same
time. What time is it? Maybe I'll go do that right now. All right. Well, thanks again. Enjoyed it, and enjoy the end of the year and get ready for next year. It's going to be a fun year.